मैं हूं संतोष सिरुर। द विजडम प्रोजेक्ट 108 सीरीज पॉडकास्ट में आपका स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, EtherWire में आपका सबका स्वागत है। Joining us today is Shri Anand Neelakantan. Please join us to welcome him. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Wonderful.
Good to
Welcome,
have
sir.
you. Please have us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Let's unravel the magic of mythology with the king of mythology. Anand, sir, the first question to you is, what is mythology?
I think it's a problem with English because many things in what is there in Indian languages, there are no equivalent words in English. So mythology is actually a derogatory term when it is applied to the Indian wisdom. Because when the Westerners started giving different words and norms, it's very rarely they say Christian mythology.
Yeah.
They talk about the dead cultures, which was civilizationally great once upon a time, but are dead and gone. They talk about Greek mythology, Norse mythology.
Yeah.
So ours is a living culture. And for us, there is nothing called myth. For us, these are all, we call it Puranas or Itihasas, which both are different, subtle differences are there. But this cannot be translated, just like how Dharma, the word Dharma cannot be translated, just like the word Bhagavan cannot be translated to English, and we can only do approximation. So for us, there is nothing called mythology, but as many people claim, it is not history also, because it is much bigger than history. History is what? Just like action of a few people and the interpretation mostly by the winners
Yeah.
about what has happened.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But what we see in Puranas, they don't belong to a space or a culture or what do you call a time. They are transcendental and they keep on repeating. This comes from our worldview actually, that they give it in a space. They don't say about a geography, this happened here, this happened there. Ramayanas, there are hundreds of Ramayanas. I'm not talking about versions of Ramayana. In Ramayana itself, they talk about many Ramayanas which happened before. So we have a concept of infinite cyclic time, and Puranas all belong to that space. So basically, these are all used to educate, entertain, and also to give values to the people. That is why we find so many Puranas, some of them, not some of them, most of them contradictory to each other.
Okay.
When we go by the facts and other things, because that is not important in that.
Yeah.
So in some Purana, you find that Vishnu is a supreme god. Same story you'll find it in the three Vedas. The other you find it as Shiva as a supreme god, another as Shakti as a supreme god, Ganesha as a supreme god. These are not contradiction. These are actually seeing it from the concept is important. They're trying to teach you something. It can be taught with different examples and ways. So for us, Purana is that it is an entire ecosystem of passing wisdom. I won't say knowledge, because knowledge keeps on changing.
Correct.
Wisdom for the humanity will remain the same. And it cuts across caste, gender, time, histories, civilization, everything. Wisdom remains the same. Knowledge keeps changing. Knowledge keeps getting updated. So Purana is a container for wisdom. Is the simplest definition, and it is not myth or mythology. There is nothing wrong with myth or mythology, but for us, these tales are it doesn't depend on time. They are immortal actually, and they keep on giving us wisdom if you know to how to read them, how to think on them, because most of them are thought-provoking. They are not just giving guide or lessons or commandments. They make you think, and you have to arrive at your own dharma or the truth. That's the purpose of this.
But sir, how is mythology rooted in historical truths? Where does that the history or the origins really come for mythology?
There's a reason why Indians never cared for history. One of the acquisitions which many scholars say is that unlike the Greek or the Chinese or many other ancient civilizations, Indians never recorded history exactly like how it is. We hardly have any historical books except perhaps Kalhana's Rajatarangini and some lineage in many of the Puranas about, and most of them are semi-historical in nature. We never cared for the history. Because this obsession now to call all these things as history comes from a deep sense of inferiority complex. We are trying to say that we had atom bombs at that time, we had this thing, that thing, and now everything has stolen. No, neither science develops like that, nor history develops like that. And whatever has been told in these things, as I said, it is far deeper than history and beyond history. Of course, there will be some kernel of history here and there in Mahabharata, or some sort of war would have happened. To imagine it as people hurling atom bombs at each other. We get a lot of ridiculous WhatsApp University proofs like Kailasa is a nuclear reactor. We have to be really scared that it is with China now. Okay?
Technically.
Things,
So these kind of things. But when we infantilize this like this, what we miss out is what is actually what they are trying to teach. So even using certain characters, historical characters, they are not just telling history. Those things will be there. They are telling something beyond that. That is why there are multiple Ramas in our system. They keep talking about yugas and kalpas and again these things repeating, the same thing repeating in the same way, but with some difference, with some element of difference. So when we try to make it as a historical, we lose out a lot of things. Even if we find some history in that, what use is it going to be? Yes, there is so much history there. How does it matter for us now which king won a war in so and so war? It doesn't matter. So for us, past, we never cared about the past. We never talked about the future. This civilization survived so far because it always talked about the present. And all the stories which talks is about the present. Even when they talk about the old stories, it is a very utilitarian approach of life. It is asking you to, if you travel across India, we find that Ramayana, Mahabharata or other tales of Puranas, especially in the village which has not been westernized, it's a part of their life. The people will be illiterate. They may not know when the Battle of Buxar happened or when Battle of Panipat happened. It doesn't affect them. It happened 300 years ago, 250 years ago, 400 years ago. How does it matter? They will be leading their life according to what they have learned from the Ramayana, what they have learned from Mahabharata, what they have learned from, not even the high philosophical texts of Upanishads and other things. All this wisdom is distilled through these stories. So we have always used storytelling as a tool to educate, entertain, and pass on wisdom to the people. Is what I am reiterating again.
Right. The question now here is now confused that how do you live with the title of mythological writer? But the word itself now is in question, that mythology as a word.
We make a lot of compromise when you write in English. As I said, English is a foreign language. For me, it is a tool to convey my ideas. I have no hate for it, no love for it, just like I have no hate or love for my mobile phone or my car which I use. It's just a tool. I can reach maximum number of people with it. I am using it. It's not my mother tongue. And I will use the English the way I want. I won't care for what Shakespeare told, all respect to the man. I don't care for what is the Queen's English. It is another country, another language. This is an Indian English. So I don't put, when I write dharma in my book, I don't put it in italics. Because why should I do that? Because I am not aiming for an audience sitting in England or America. If they read it, well and good. When they write book, they are not thinking that Indians will read it, so we will utilize certain words. They just write for them. So I try to go away from all these kind of things, trying to please the white man, looking for their appreciation. And when people call me mythological writer, I always think it is a problem of English. What can I show that?
So
I cannot keep on correcting it.
Sorry, but if you have to correct us today, And this is the time we correct that mythology can be called as something more relevant. And is there a Hindi word that can be
It's a
used?
Sanskrit word, Purana.
Purana is
it's
the
a
word.
Sanskrit word. Itihasa and Purana. Mahabharata is
Right.
Itihasa. Ramayana is Kavya.
Yeah.
It's a poetry. So
Right.
poetry, Itihasa, Purana. As I said again and again, I keep reiterating in many interviews this, that they have got they are far more important than history.
Yeah.
Or whether this actually happened doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. From Ramayana itself, many examples come for this. Why I quote Ramayana again and again. Of course, in Mahabharata also it is there. But in Ramayana, why it comes is, take the example of one of my next books is like January, which is getting launched, is Many Ramayanas, Many Lessons, which had come as a podcast in Audible, almost a 16-hour
Wow.
podcast, English and Hindi,
Okay.
which is coming as a book now. So that is a compilation of many Ramayanas. So some of the Ramayanas talk about the cyclical nature of the storytelling. So there are a lot of stories. One example, if I may say, is this: the Lord Rama, its time has come. His time, the purpose of life is over. He has to go back to Vaikuntha, because in the story he is the avatar of Vishnu. He has to go back to Vaikuntha. But Hanuman is the guardian. So when Hanuman is there, the Lord of Death, Yama, which means time, or Kala, which again means time, it cannot enter. He cannot enter inside. Hanuman is standing as a guard. If you go to Ayodhya, near the famous Hanuman Gadi temple, there is a small temple on the right side of it, from the main entrance. There is a small hill. There is a temple there. There, the priest there told me about this story. So I collected a lot of folk tales like this. Nobody is there. The Hanuman Gadi temple, a lot of crowd will be there. In this temple, when I went, only I was there. I sat there for 3-4 hours. It's a very peaceful place in a very congested Ayodhya, actually. Today's Ayodhya I'm talking about. This is a very peaceful place. Nobody is there. So there, the Hanuman's Murti, the idol again is a wrong translation. The Hanuman's Murti, it has a scowl in its face. It's angry and frustrated. It stands like totally angry face. So the tale behind that is this. That was the fourth entrance of Ayodhya, old Ayodhya. So Hanuman was standing the guard there. But since the Lord of Death, the Lord of Time cannot touch as long as Hanuman is there, a message was sent to Rama to somehow remove Hanuman from the gate. So Ram, what did he do? He called Hanuman. First he removed his ring and he put it on the floor. There was a crack on the floor. It's a story. So don't ask whether the construction quality was wrong or something. Through the crack, the ring went down. And it went to the netherworld, the Patal Lok. And he told Hanuman, my ring is missing. Please get it, find it. So Hanuman has the capability of becoming small. He became very small, entered the crack, and then he went to the Patal Lok. In Patal Lok, there is another immortal who is the king, who is Mahabali. So in Vamana avatar, in the previous avatar of Vishnu, 2-3 avatars before, of course, Mahabali was an Asura king. He was put into Patal Lok by the Vamana, Vishnu's avatar Vamana. And he was blessed that he will be the king of Patal Lok. And in the next Yuga, he will be the Indra, the Lord of Gods. An Asura king will become the Lord of God. Devas in the next Yuga. So that is how cyclically it goes. He is a king there. So Hanuman comes there. So he bows to this Mahabali because he is considered to be an epitome of Dharma and other things. So Hanuman bows to him, to Bali Maharaj, and says, I come here, my ring has fallen. So Bali laughs and says that you can take any ring from there. Hanuman says, what? Any ring? He turns back and sees a hill of rings. A huge hill of rings. And Hanuman asks, what is this? From whose rings are these? From where will I find it out? Find Ram's ring. Bali says, these are all Ram's ring. These rings have come from different Ramayanas of different yugas in different kalpas. Every time this happens, Ram puts this ring like this, Hanuman will come to take this. and he hears the news from me, and then without taking the ring, he goes back.
Okay.
That's why these are collected again. So Hanuman rushes back,
Yeah.
knowing that what is going to happen. Ram would have gone by now, Lord of Yama has come. By the time he has come, Rama has walked into Sarayu, and he has become Vishnu back.
Oh, next.
So that Hanuman comes back and he is in that anguish of losing his master,
Yeah.
and he is waiting,
Oh, wow.
waiting in every street for Ram, looking at everyone, whether they are Ram. So this shows about the cyclical nature of how they have conceived the story and the time.
Yeah.
When other civilizations were thinking the world started 4,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, like Carl Sagan says in his series of Cosmos, where he says only the Indians or the Hindus had the idea of the cosmic time, even at that time, of the infinite, which almost coincides with the actual age of the universe. So when stories are, these are the stories which I grew up on, these are the stories which I hear from the people who actually live in this thing, not from the internet or the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
When questions get asked, like, no offense, given or taken, but when the questions get asked, like, is it history? I will always answer that this is far beyond history. Which history can go into such depths
True.
of perception about life and how you have to live? Which history can do justice to it?
But when you do you say storytelling? When I talk of storytelling, is it a way to educate or provoke thought or simply entertain? Basically, what one should keep in mind while reading your books?
My books are no different from, I follow the very Indian method of storytelling. Of course, for knowledge sake, I have read about the three act structures and Aristotle's poetics and all those things. And I have found them, they are good, but they are just a preliminary. So I always found that it's better to follow the classical Indian storytelling tradition, using the Rasa theory and Natya Shastra, mostly Kavya Darpana, Natya Shastra. I write in English, but my style of storytelling is very Indian.
Yeah.
So instead of taking my story, which people, I hope everyone should read my books and make me very rich, because I'm an Asura, I will think about that, of course. Because we'll talk about the materialistic way of life also. But apart from that, more people definitely, 100 times more people would be familiar about Ramayana. So I'll tell it using the example of Ramayana itself for easier comprehension. Ramayana, just imagine the tale of Ramayana. All these questions I'll try to answer your question. Is it to educate? It is educating.
Correct.
Totally.
Provoke a thought.
It is provoking lots of thought if you really look at Valmiki Ramayana. For example, Rama hides behind the tree and kills Bali. Bali.
Yeah. I wanted to ask this question. This is the most interesting. Oh, yes, please.
So what happens here is, it's a provocation. Like the poet is giving a provocation to you purposefully. He could have easily written, Rama is the avatar of Vishnu, Bali is just a monkey king. Rama comes, gives him 2 slaps, like a typical Bollywood hero, and Bali confesses, says sorry sir, and gives back, and it would have been end. Or he can just kill Bali in one fight, because if you go by the later day Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana is different. Later day Ramayana, Rama is a supreme god, Vishnu. So even if you go by the curse of or the boon of Bali, that half of strength Bali will take, half of infinity is still the infinite, right? So it doesn't make any logical sense. These are all the kind of justifications people try to give when they don't go into the concept of it. So I had all these doubts. So I used to ask the gurus who had taught me, including my first guru was my father or other people in my village, and right from the childhood. They used to say this was purposefully put. This was purposefully put, including Sita's abandonment of Sita is purposefully put in that to provoke thought. The idea of these books are to provoke thought so that you will discuss and debate and reach a conclusion by yourself which will be beneficial to you. So this is not a preachy book to show that God is always right, because there is a concept of God in Indian thing. So God is always right. So he hides and kills Bali, Rama gives a lot of justification to it, but none of them are valid if you really read the Ramayana. So why did the poet put that? Because he was trying to prove a point that karma is the most important, and the karma doesn't even leave the god. So every story in India works on very simple principle. There is a situation where there are multiple choices. In that situation, what choice you take, depending on your dharma, you will do a karma, you will do an action. There will be a consequences of whichever karma you take, there will be a consequence for that action. So Valmiki, what he does is, he increases the complexity of this decision which Ram has to take every time. From the simple decision of whether to go to forest to, he increases the complexity to show the dharma sankat. So Bali's killing is a dharma sankat for Ram. Which law he should apply? Whether he should apply the law of Ayodhya, where if he takes the brothers, in Bali's case, brother's wife, by force Bali has taken, should he use the dharma of Ayodhya to kill him? Or should he take the dharma of the forest, where every animal, if he calls Bali a Vanara. So Vanara dharma is what? Whoever has might will get the mate. It's as simple as that. Mate and the system. So Bali's dharma is that. Bali asked this. If you say I am a Vanara, then what right you have got to question me? Even this question Valmiki puts. What right you have got to question me? No? Because my brother could have defeated me and taken the wife.
Right.
In fact, he put me inside a cave and took my wife.
Right.
So you are imposing your dharma on me. So Rama has to decide that, no, I have grown up with certain values and dharmas. I am going to use it. I am not going to go by everybody's dharmas. I am going to impose my dharma and I am going to do this. There is no other justification given, but he has a karma bala for it. So in the next janma, because again there is no life has no end, death has no end in our. It's all cyclical and infinite. So in the next janma, Rama becomes Krishna and Bali becomes Jara, which also has another name of old age. Jara. He becomes Jara, a hunter, and he kills the same way when Krishna, after Dwaraka has sunk, Krishna is sitting there and playing the flute, and Jara shoots and kills Krishna. So every action, there is a reaction, if not in this life,
But in
the
the next life.
So this is purposefully put to provoke. Each of them is purposefully put to provoke. Why should Bhima kill Duryodhana by hitting behind the belt? Or why should Drona?
Yes.
Same for the provocation to discuss who is right and who is wrong. And Vyasa cleverly also shows that the same debate happened when the Yadavas of Krishna, they started fighting on the same topic, who was right, whether Kauravas were right or Pandavas were right. After so many years, after 36 years or something, they were fighting each other, talking about this, showing the foolishness of human things. So what has happened, you take two sides and fighting it. That is to educate.
Right.
So this is perhaps an easier answer. So I use the same principle when I write the book, because I draw from all these sources.
In the process of writing this craft, looking at these characters, the way you explained the narratives, have you ever faced any criticism? Because some of the points are really not making you rethink about the context of characters, but they are making you rethink about the whole way to look at these books and Puranas and understand all
I have
over
been
again.
lucky because whichever my books are provocative, no doubt about that. But I stay true to my roots. So I don't write it for sake of provocation. I am giving a point of view which is already there in that. And I am not the first person to do that. I may be the first person to do that in English. But ancient Sanskrit or Tamil literature is full of this. This kind of, right from Bhasa's time, from Urubanga to Pancharatra. Urubanga Duryodhana is a hero. To the Kannada poet Pampa, Sarladas in Odia, so many Kunjatambiyar in Malayalam, so many of them have done it in Indian classical languages, and folk tales are full of this. There are Telugu folk tales where it is told totally from Sita's point of view, the women's point of view, sung by the women, and it gives a totally different perspective, some of which I used in my television series of Siyake Ram. So I write from all sides. So many a times what happens is, like when I was writing Vanara, which was published by Penguin, same time I was doing Sankat Mohan Mahabali Hanuman. So morning I am writing Vanara, where Bali is the hero. It is all seen from Bali's point of view and Tara's point of view. Evening I am writing for the show, which is getting aired, in which Bali becomes the antagonist and Sugriva is the good guy. So this is, I grew up where professional storytellers used to come, sit on either side and take sides and debate. Kaurava's side and Pandava's side. That is how we had learned most of these things rather than from the books. So the oral storytelling tradition has it. That is what I am trying to bring in my book also, about different perspectives of Ramayana, seen from Shurpanaka's side. When Valmiki's women, I have just reversed the gaze from how Shurpanaka would have felt after her nose has been cut. How Tadaka would have felt. So Tadaka's story, if you look at from, there are very ancient stories about Tadaka also. So Tadaka's angle, Tadaka doesn't go to, Tadaka's argument is this: I didn't come to Ayodhya to kill you. You come to my forest and creating trouble. You are coming here and doing sacrifices. And I am supposed to protect these people. So I am doing my dharma. So how do you come here and do it? Her husband was killed by the rishis. So it is a chain of viewing from various points. This is whatever,
of a different
the rishis highlight each of this. Why there is a character like Indrajit in now the television series, including many which I wrote due to public pressure and popular perception, I have made him appear like a huge villain. But if you read it read it in the books or look at the oral storytelling tradition, one of the most famous one is Sati Sulochana story, where Indrajit and his wife's story is narrated in folk tradition. It had come in 60s and all, when we were more rooted. Films had come on this, especially in the south, where Indrajit does everything. Indrajit is Ram in the wrong side, or whichever side, the other side, if you call it. There is no wrong side. Ram on the other side actually. He does whatever the father wants him to do, and dies for his father. Does everything right, and dies for his father. So purposefully this have been put.
Interesting. This is like really expanding the universe in head for us. Speaking about the way you pick up your characters, let's dive into the process of your writing. You have written some complex characters like Ravana, Shivagami, who are morally ambiguous but yet relatable. Like you said that the ancient era has, or the epics have never judged anybody. So how do you not judge? Because we live in a era where we pass judgments as if,
That is because 250 years of British rule, or perhaps our interaction with the Abrahamic cultures have trained us for that. It is not a wrong thing or per se. I'm not saying one is inferior or superior, but these are two different ways of looking at life. So in Abrahamic religions, including communism, it's also a religion if you ask me, everything is clearly defined. There is God, there is Satan, there is hell, there is heaven, there is good, there is bad, there is sin, there is virtue, there is hell, there is heaven, so on and so on. And instructions are given clearly. This is one way of looking at life. So if you are true to the Indian method, no method is false. So this method also you should not call false. This is one way of looking at it. This gives a lot of clarity for simple minds. Whereas, so for these kind of religions, you need a herdsman, somebody to tell him. You need a priest. You need an institution. You need somebody to tell what to do. So they are channel. There is a flock. There is the priest is called the shepherd. They take you through like sheeps. Whereas the Dhammic system, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, now they have assumed different names. Otherwise, they were called darshanas, which are highly complex and contradictory, which can only originate in a place which was materialistically rich. There are a lot of fertile land is there, and a lot of rivers are there. The seasons will agree you to have all kind of fruits and vegetables, so that you can choose
Yeah.
Like I will eat only vegetarian. If you are in a desert, you don't have anything to eat, you will eat whatever you have, right? Or you are in a cold place, in tundra, you will eat whatever, fish. But here, some people have the choice to eat vegetarian. So philosophy comes through that. In these kind of places, things can become ambiguous. It can give a lot of freedom of thought. So here we have nothing called these kind of, until, because if you go, we have mixed these two theories. If it is karmic theory, you do certain karma, you get a karma bala, and there is an infinite life. Then there is no concept of heaven or hell. No, already you are having, you cannot have two punishments or two rewards. You have done something good, suddenly you go to heaven, or you have done certain things wrong, you go to hell, you get punished. Of course, Garuda Purana and others which came in the medieval era, which many scholars say which came after the Islamic invasion, tried to take both of these and mix it up. So what we have got a very mixed things. Suddenly the Bhakti era Ramayanas which started coming, started mimicking this. So Ravana became the arch villain. Whereas in Puranas, if you see, Ravana is Jaya's. Jaya and Vijaya are the doorkeepers of Vishnu.
Yes.
They get a curse and they are given a choice. Two different sources, some says 100 janmas, some say 7, some says 3. Of 7 janmas or 100 janmas of the devotees of Vishnu, blind devotees of Vishnu, or blind enemies of Vishnu. Only 3 janmas. This choice is given to them. So they think that in 3 janmas we can come back. It's better than becoming a blind andhabhakt of anyone.
Yeah.
Because critical thinking was very important in India. Blind devotion was never accepted at all. Whether it is of any politician or whether it is of any leader or God, blind devotion was never accepted. That is why Ram gets criticized, Krishna gets criticized by various times by many characters in the Puranas. There is no blind devotion concept. But when the Bhakti era came, the blind devotion was there. But Jaya and Vijaya, they didn't choose blind devotion. They said that we will become your enemies. So they come as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And they go back. So there is a concept of villain. There itself it is shown as it is a leela, it's a play. This is to teach. So it is like telling Amrish Puri is bad because he played a lot of villain role. Ravana is playing a role which has been assigned to him. This is how they had done it. So I try to stick to that philosophy. And whenever criticism comes, I point it out. It's already there. If you want to believe it otherwise, that freedom is always there. It's up to you.
Yeah.
That's your concept.
So if Ravana or Shivagami had, could offer one piece of advice or wisdom probably to the world, today's world, what would it be?
Actually, Ravana, Shivagami is no different from us. Or they are not even different from how they were perceived. Ravana at least was how he was perceived. It's not, my Ravana is no different from that. The Ravana which we have now, especially in the Gangetic plains where Ravana is lynched every year, that Ravana is a product of 15th, 16th century. That is not the Ravana of the original one. So one piece of advice is live life fully. So it's a very materialistic way of looking at life. So the difference between Asuras and the yogis is that Asuras chose to live materialistically and achieve success through that. Humans are somewhere in between. They was taught something and acted exactly like Asuras. That's why they are brothers and cousins. But yogis and the Punya Purishas, what they called, they rejected all these things, the materialistic thing, and they concentrated only on spirituality. So humans will have to balance these two.
Okay.
That's how they have conceived it. So Asuras is the extreme materialism of life. So same thing is what we can find a lot of Asuras among us. It's not a bad thing. Because Asuras drive the materialistic progress of the world.
So should we just club all the rich folks in one section and call them Asuras? Super rich, successful folks are actually Asura energies, which is nothing bad about it.
No, even Krishna has an Asura lineage. Krishna through his mother's side is an Asura. The Yadus are Asuras. You can Google it and see or look back to see. They trace the lineage from that.
Okay.
And in Rigveda also many a times Krishna has been called an Asura. So it's not a derogatory term what it has come to be now.
And you're really giving it a nice facelift for sure. A complete reboot, reconnection for the readers. Um, you've been predominantly a writer for majority of your life. You have been researcher. You have been interacting with people from different parts of the country to get more real and authentic narratives. Do you ever face writer's block?
Every day. Every day it's a writer's block.
Okay, so
It's a painful process. But actually what I do is I try to get into all kind of things. I'm a big Asura in that way, very ambitious in that way. So I write travelogues, I write newspaper columns, political columns, I write fiction, non-fiction, I write television, OTT, films, whatever I can do. I write in English, I write in Malayalam, whatever I can do. I try. I even write poetry. Only 2 have been published. Nobody takes my poetry. That's separate. I'm a bad poet, perhaps, but I don't. I won't stop. I write whatever method it is possible. Anything else come, that also I'll write. Animation, films, script of podcasts also. If you have any job offer, I'm asking.
Wow, this is amazing because so does it just for little diversion, but this appears like a multi-talented, restless. Multitasker with many areas of expertise or interest. I can familiarize with you, so I want to just categorize. Are we Asuras?
Yeah,
Am I
definitely.
also
So
Asura?
my last book was called the Asura Way. So that is for the people who proudly say I don't read fiction and I read only non-fiction.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'll have to reach them also. So there's a non-fiction which talks about all these things. Which says that most of us are Asuras and embrace your Asuraness because it is good. Taking examples from our Puranas and history, it is good to have not some ambition, big ambitions like Ravana. It is good to have, it is always good to be discontented in life. The contentment is death. You can be contented when you say that I have done everything. Now this is the time for sannyas. And looking for moksha.
Yeah.
That phase, you can talk about all this. I don't want jealousy. But when you are in this phase of grihastha phase, when you are making a living, when you are contributing to the society, why do sannyasis go to the forest? Because their contribution to the society is over.
Yeah.
They take sannyas after that. Vanaprastha, it's like a probation period, and after that they take sannyas. They first withdraw from the society. It's a phase. If you see, it has been very well designed. First, it is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya doesn't mean that you are a bachelor.
Yeah.
Brahma is a elusive eternal truth. There is nothing, you don't even know whether it exists or not. People say it has different forms, ways, but it is that you are trying to uncover the Brahma because the world is filled with illusion. You are trying to uncover it through your knowledge. So that knowledge could be various things. It could be through science, physics, chemistry, maths. It could be through arts. You are trying to uncover it and you are mastering it. First 20 years of your life or 21 years of your life when you are studying it. At that time, your concentration is on that. Then you come to the grihastha phase. The grihastha phase is where you have a family, you raise children, you contribute to the society, you make money. It's very important. Lakshmi is the goddess of this. The first one is Saraswati. Lakshmi becomes the goddess of this phase. So they even say this is the phase where Vishnu and Lakshmi becomes, different schools are there, but generally I am saying, what I learned I am saying, becomes the gods of this phase because it is a grihastha phase. Or Sati, Shiva along with Sati if you are a Shaivite, Shiva along with Parvati, the entire family. It's a grihastha phase. Even the deposition of gods you see that in this phase, Shiva also, it is full of, is Sundaresha actually, full of ornaments and prosperity and other things. It's not the Vairagi Shiva what we, now we are getting confused with images. Otherwise they use only this with all the ornaments. You go to the Madurai temple or Chidambaram temple, they show this exactly like, especially Madurai temple, the Meenakshi and Sundaresha. It's a married Shiva. This is the phase of Grihastha. In this phase you need all the ambition, a bit of jealousy, competitiveness, everything is required because with that only the society will progress. Then a stage will come when you start, everybody will go through this phase. You say, this is enough, I have done my part for the society.
Yeah.
Now I am withdrawing in Vanaprastha. In Vanaprastha is the time when you become the guru. You mold the next generation. you become the next generation who are practicing brahmacharya. To them, you are showing the path. Whichever is your path, you could be a mason, you could be your karma, sphere of karma will be different. You should be a sculptor, you should be a farmer. You are teaching them the next generation.
Essentially the trainer phase.
Trainer phase. That is the Vanaprastha phase. So Vanaprastha is not deep forest. There used to be always grooves outside the main cities where they will withdraw and people will come to the natural environment to study. After that is a sannyasa phase. That is the most selfish phase, if you ask me. Where I have given everything to society. I have trained everyone. Now is the time for me to understand what it is. The contemplation phase, the rumination phase, the contemplation phase, the meditation phase. Now what many spiritual gurus, especially the YouTube gurus, are advising with big ashrams and bigger, they are the real asuras, if you ask me, because they are so materialistic. Even though they advise, I have gone to many of these ashrams, they live in super luxury and advise everyone to be contented with life. They are nothing to do with the actual sannyasa. So they are the people who Shankaracharya called Udaranimittam Bahukrita Vesham. For the sake of stomach, people take different fancy dress. So these are all the fancy dress players. I don't mince words. You want to edit it out, you can edit it out.
In fact, if I had to draw this, it is a parallel with our corporate life today.
Yes.
So you have that experience. Then when you say this, the one before the Vanaprastha, it's your
one before the sannyasa.
One before the sannyas. It's the whole your handover phase, to the next generation or the next level in your corporate life, and then you retire and you do whatever you want. And
sannyasa is a phase where they do all this. Then the Shadribhus, like the 6 enemies, Kama, Krodha, all these things should not be there. In that phase, it is absolutely right. Please don't go to a retired phase manual and apply it to your these 1, 2, 3 phase. First phase you can even apply because you are in learning phase, you are a brahmachari. But the middle phases where you are a grihastha and you are in a vanaprastha phase, when you are a training phase, giving back to the society phase, you have to be as ambitious as possible. This is the Asura way which I am talking in the book and which I give it as a detail. This is a very short description which I give for the corporate training classes whenever I am invited.
Outstanding. One of the questions that came up as one of the popular question for those who are reading your book, if you have to pick up 2 characters and have a conversation with them, which 2 characters will you pick up?
I'll pick up very similar characters. One is Ravana, one is Krishna. I find a lot of similarity in them.
How?
All the tricks and techniques Ravana does, Krishna also does. One is God for us, the other is Leela for us. So it's also a matter of karma bala. When Krishna does the abduction of clothes, it is a Leela. I'm not comparing it with that. Because the context says what is right or what is wrong. And when Dushasana does it, it is evil.
Correct.
So I have to ask Krishna about all these things if possible, try to understand. It's such a complicated character. The other one is Ravana. After being so wise and so learned, what made him do the things which he did? Because he is considered as the epitome of every knowledge in the Puranas. Whether it is music, whether it is Ayurveda, whether it is the Ayurveda for animals, whether his trustees on children's Ayurvedic thing. He is the epitome of justice. He is the epitome of bhakti, money, everything. So what makes it? And they have a lot of parallels in their life, which may anger both Ravana Bhaks and Krishna Bhaks. But I'm giving a think. Give it a thought.
Provoking the thought.
You're provoking the thought. Think about it. I don't want to explain and make it words. Think about it. There are a lot of dissimilarities, of course, and like what we have become is we have become fans association of many of the gods. This was never intended to be. So the gods were like one of the Buddha's basic. Buddha comes from the same tradition. His trustees is that don't believe anything just because it is written in some book, just because some rishi has told it, or some god has told it, or even I in the sense Buddha here, quoting Buddha. Buddha has told this. Don't believe in Use your intelligence and knowledge and perception and try to achieve at your truth. The same thing Krishna says after giving the Gita to Arjuna. I had told you the deepest of the truth.
Yeah.
This is as per him, this is the deepest of the truth. Use your intelligence and logic to arrive at a conclusion. And based on that, you do the action, and whatever action you do, you will get a karma bela for that. It's as simple as that, or as complicated as that.
Awesome. Two characters. Wow.
So what has mythological fiction taught you about yourself?
I could relate to every character which I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So when I write Asura, I could relate to Rama, I could relate to Ravana, I could relate to every single small characters in all these epics.
Okay.
So basically it taught me that we are no different. It's only the circumstances make us take certain actions. But ultimately the humans, they remain the same. Irrespective of how much our time has passed or how much our technology and situations have changed.
Yeah.
That's why they say in Mahabharata, everything is there. Whatever to be learned is there in this, and whatever is not there in this is not worth learning.
Yeah. Correct.
It basically talks about the human nature. What could be a more bigger guide for the human psychology than the Mahabharata characters?
Wow. So that's the powerful capsule of knowledge when people say, or our ancestors or parents said, that there is never right or wrong.
Correct.
It actually summarizes there are no judgments to be passed, and it's ultimately karmas that everybody is living
That is the
through.
Indian way of looking at life. Indian way of the whole Indosphere, stretching from Afghanistan to Bali for almost 1,000 of years. Not Bali, up to Philippines, if you ask me. For almost 1,000 years, believed in this. Then it changed.
Yeah.
So you have when you mix these two things, we end up in a mess. You have to follow at least
One standard.
one stand.
system.
Now, what we did was conveniently, what we did was we brought heaven also, hell also. So it gave to a lot of exploitation by the priestly classes, where the rituals became meaningless, and you do certain ritual, pay me some money, you give me, like Premchand's Godan and all deals with that.
Yes.
You give it.
Godan.
They had fantastic stories like you cross Vaidarani,
Yeah.
one cow will come, you catch its tail. So this it gave to this, that there is a river like this, and you will sing. Before that, nothing was there.
True.
Then all these were added to the earlier text. So somebody will quote and say, no, Ramayana, they talks about this.
Yeah.
But technically, if you see, that it is not there. A lot of things were added to that. Even reference to Buddha has been added in Valmiki Ramayana.
Wow.
People have interpolated it and put many things into that in between.
Absolutely.
As a writer, you have explored a lot of length and breadth of various characters, ancient, texture. Which are the characters you are yet to write, and why would you write them?
I have not written much about Devi, Shaktiya.
Devi Shakti.
So my next book is about Devi.
Okay.
That is
Wow.
what I am exploring now. That's a different world totally.
And if I have to extend her question a little more, in double click on that question, if you could have had a conversation with any character from an Indian mythology, what would you choose and why?
Ravana again. Ravana.
Okay.
And then Krishna, that I answered. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it that you want to ask that any one, if
Yeah.
not both?
Yeah. Which one is your, I don't know, favorite in a different context?
Definitely it will be Ravana.
Ravana. Yeah. So are you the anti-establishment?
No. Why am I thought provocator?
Okay.
Because
it comes
I
back
think,
to the thought provoking.
When I read about him, I saw him. This is my view, because the writer, the readers of your book, the view I had that this book probably will give me a perspective that I never had.
Yeah.
And a perspective about Ravana, because the basic thing which is like that when you are so enlightened, you are so equipped, why would Ravana do a silly mistake like this?
Yeah.
And then everything else. So for me, he brought a very different perspective.
Yeah.
Something I was missing. So
So, you mentioned Ravana and Krishna. Which of these two characters is your favorite?
Ravana, definitely.
So do I interpret this as you're like a bit of an anti-establishment?
No, nothing like that. I am a thought provocator.
Hmm.
So that is a purpose of all these tales is what I believe.
Yeah.
So I want to shake up the perspective because there is over the years a lot of the way of thinking has changed. The Indian
Yeah.
way of thinking has changed. I wanted to bring it back
Yeah.
to the
Audiences.
because you see the Upanishads is a debate, Gita
Yeah.
is a debate, everything is a debate.
True.
That debate has died. Now it is like this is right, this is wrong. If you don't follow my way, I'll shoot you.
Correct. Absolutely.
So that is not the Indian style of
True.
doing things.
True.
So I'm trying to bring back that.
In fact, I kind of completely agree with you because look at our own upbringing, from school, whatever our parents and whatever Ravana for us has been the typecast villain, right? And here you are sharing your viewpoints of a different, looking at Ravana from a very different lens. Probably,
Yes.
that's what kind
I think
of.
it's adding a very different dimension. It
Yeah.
feels like we were reading in two dimensions. Now suddenly the third and the fourth dimension of looking at things.
You see, depends on how urbanized is your bringing up. If you come from a bigger cities, and also if you come from the Gangetic Belt, northern India, this culture has changed due to historical reasons. So a lot of influence of, as I said, the black and white way of looking at things are there. That's why Ravana turned to be the villain. The traditional societies, or which continue to flourish in the traditional way of thinking, specifically, I'm more familiar with the South, that's what I'm saying. In the South, this was never the case. So we all grew up with the masters themselves telling us to think from all sides. We ask a question, they say, think. We are not going to feed you. Think about it. And both sides were presented, many of these. So you find temples for Ravana. You find temples there is one of the biggest temples for Duryodhana in Kerala called Poruvadi Malanara Temple in Koilon district, where Duryodhana, Dushasana, Dushala and all are the Karna. There is a Shaguni temple nearby. These are the gods. And it is not a small village temple or anything. It's a massive, almost 5 to 10 lakh people come every year for the annual chariot festival. It's like Puri Jagannath chariot festival. They take around. You can Google it and see. It's there in the YouTube and all. Nowadays, it's so easy. Otherwise, people will get surprised when you say that. This is the way in which India had always dealt with it. So wherever this remained untouched, rather, they were always comfortable with having worshipping Ravana along with Ram, or even worshipping Duryodhana. For Hidumba, there are temples. There are temples for Hidumba. Many of the temples have an outside this thing for Hidumba. There will be a stone if you go to many South Indian temples. You find that. So this is where this changed actually. I think is during the Mughal times and other things. It's totally changed in the way in which it was looked. And when the television came, the Hindi Ramayana came, it spread across India. So a generation which grew up with that, they started
which is
coming with this one polarized kind of view. So Rama was never above criticism. Neither was Ravana, or neither was anyone for that matter. They were, through the poetry, through the drama, through the plays, the Sanskrit plays or the ancient classical era Malayalam plays or Tamil plays, always they were criticized. Each of their actions, whoever wanted, they used other characters to criticize it. For example, in Kalyana Saugandhigam in Malayalam, the 17th century Kunjanambiya's Ottantullal, the poet cleverly uses Hanuman's voice to put all the Pandavas' issues, what all nonsense they did. He uses Hanuman. Bhima is going to get the flower of Kalyana Saugandhigam for Draupadi, and he finds an old monkey. He doesn't recognize it is Hanuman. So he asks him to move away. The monkey says, I am too old. Either you go some other way or lift me up, lift my tail up. So Bhima tries to lift the tail up, but it's Hanuman, so he's not able to lift. So just like how Ravana was trapped in Bali's tail, Bhima gets trapped in Hanuman's tail. So Hanuman starts in mocking. It's a sarcastic poetry with a lot of fun element in that. It's played single, it's a mono mono-act kind of the play. So in the Ottanthullal it is called. Hanuman keeps on giving all. You pawned your wife, and you such idiots, you just stood there and watched. For that also you wanted somebody to help. You yourself could not help, and you call yourself big Veeras. What kind of idiots you are. Same on the face.
Yeah.
I use a lot of them in my Ajaya, Rise of Kali.
Okay. Now, that brings to a question that what kind of a research you do while coming up with your next characters or book?
See, the great thing about Indian stories, you write anything, material is available.
Okay.
First you write it, write, imagine anything, because it's such an old civilization and so much freedom was there. You imagine anything, it will be available in some text or other.
Okay.
From experience I am saying, you write the most absurd thing, or what appears to be as absurd, that will be there in some text or other, in some folktale or other. Everything conceivable has been conceived.
Yeah.
Because there was no restriction of human thought. Imagine so many crores. This was always the most populous country in the world.
Yeah.
And you have so much freedom to do anything and everything. In 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 years, there is nothing left to churn out. So only thing is that you are yet to discover it. It is there in some corner of the country. So I have found tales where Ram and Sita are brother and sister. I have found tales where Hanuman have multiple children and he is married. Hanuman has one child that many people know from his sweat, but he was properly married and have children. So many variations you find. So my research is basically hearing a lot of stories, collecting them, and then so many texts is there. The kind of text which India produced is humongous. Imagine the number of books, 18 Puranas, 108 Upapuranas, millions of Sthala Puranas, plus the multiple versions of Ramayana, multiple versions of Mahabharata, so many folk tales, Kadasarit Saga, Brihat Kada is endless. The Tamil classics, the ancient Tamil classics, the folk epics of Kerala, folk epics from Bengal, from Kashmir, from Punjab, from Gujarat. It's humongous amount of literature.
That's probably an effort, from Jyoti and me to bring this ancient Indian wisdom on one platform through the Ether platform as the Wisdom Project. What role do you think platforms like ours, the Wisdom Project, play in exploring and even spreading the timeless relevance of Indian mythology?
I think you are bringing a lot of diverse thinkers. So this was something which was earlier done by the kings and noblemen once upon a time, were different. They used to conduct debates and sabha, where they used to come and discuss and debate so that the people will get the idea. Now with the new technology and the platforms, you are doing the same thing. I hope you will bring diverse voices, voices which will challenge each other and provoke each other, instead of just trying to go into one format. That is how it was always worked. So that is why in Ramayana, if you see, one of the ministers of Dasharatha is called Jabali. Jabali was an atheist Maharshi. So his purpose was to teach atheism to Rama and to Dasharatha also, to give a atheistic point of view, to give a materialistic point of view. He was also considered as a Maharshi, who was a Charvaki. And there is a debate with him and Ram on the ethics of Dharma when he is going to Vanavas. But otherwise also he is a very well-respected guru. So this is what a platforms like what you should do. You should bring totally diverse perspective. You should bring somebody who will say that whatever the episode which that idiot Anand Neelakantan talked is total bullshit. This is what I am going to present. I will prove him wrong.
Bring in a bit of discussion around it, debate around it, and as you rightly put it, thought-provoking. I agree.
Right. No,
there is a book called, called Sarvadharma Samhita, written in 11th century, where the author goes on to prove every darshanas which originated until him are wrong. He doesn't give a right darshana. Through logic, he proves Buddhism is wrong, Advaita is wrong, Dvaita is wrong, Bhakti is wrong, Sankhya is wrong. He proves everything. Charvaga is wrong. He proves everyone wrong.
This is Sarva Dharma Samhita.
I think I will give you the right
Yeah,
name.
sure.
I'm telling from memory. I have the book at home. I forgot the title of it.
Yeah.
But we have produced such books. So negating everything, Buddhism, Jainism, Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, whatever has come before him, he has negated. He gives the points of it and he says why these are all logically not possible. He doesn't say which is the right one.
Yeah.
Amazing. Since you will be writing books after books and stuff. And if someone who has just got introduced to your work and your style of writing, which book would you recommend them to pick up first?
Asura, so that will shock him first, him or her.
That-
And if you are not into fiction, read Asura Way. It is concise
Asura Way.
and if you are not into fiction, you are not into reading big books. But I will always advise to read fiction, not just mine, because fiction creates empathy. There is a purpose of Kavya. Kalidasa says, Hridayanisari Kavi, the one who goes along with, who is sympathetic to the agony of people. That is a poet. He gives, through poetry, he expresses the feeling and makes people empathetic. So, to create empathy, one has to read a lot of fiction. Non-fiction gives you knowledge, fiction gives you wisdom.
Yeah.
But if you find you are not a person of fiction, you are not a woman of fiction or a man of fiction, then read Asura Way, which is a concise storytelling. That also I use stories. It's a concise non-fiction book, where all my 15, 16 books, whatever I have told, I made it into an easy to read format.
Okay.
Outstanding. No, whatever it takes to become, I'll become that fiction lover or not. But yes, non-fiction was basically because the books that I read were Swami Vivekanand's and Divine Romance and Himalayan Yogi, all of these kinds of books, especially in this, and then your religious texts and stuff. So this is non-fiction category. But the fiction that that my journey started was basically a fiction which is introduced in your childhood in comics and stuff, and I think fiction just wraps your head far better, and it's easy to retain in that context. And I fell in love.
It was
with
never different, right? The Gita, the philosophical text, a non-fiction, comes inside one of the greatest stories ever told.
Yes.
It was always
Yes.
together. It's a very modern concept that I will only take fiction. I will take only non-fiction. I will write only this thing. It's a very good marketing tactics. But usually it came together.
Yeah.
So Panchatantra is a fiction or a non-fiction or a fantasy or a cartoon or
Panchatantra
what is
was-
it?
Yeah.
It's all put together, right?
It's all put together. So when there's a blurring of line, you don't come to know, but it feels good, of course. So anything that you would like to share with us that you haven't shared before about your experience with, now working with OTT platforms, and now your book was made into a movie. Anything
How
that,
was that experience with getting to know that?
I want to know what he has not shared so far. But yeah, share what you have shared.
Actually, Rajamouli had read Asura. He liked the book, my Asura Tale of the Vanquished, and Ajay also. So then he had called me. Then he made me a part of the team. So at that time, BahuBali 1 was ready already. So he gave these, he said you can pick any characters, you can write either forward or backward. So I said I found Shivagami morally grey, so I would love to write that character, and Katappa also. So from there I took and I wrote their backstory, the entire as 3 books. So where my books end, third book end, that's where the film begins.
Okay.
Wow, outstanding. And behind the scene of working in BahuBali, like behind the scene of working on the script of BahuBali, anything outstanding?
The script was written by Rajamouli.
Yeah,
right?
so it
I
became...
have created the story world
Right.
behind
There's the story world around
story
it.
Right.
world around it.
So,
That was a commissioned project. Like
yes.
I was hired for doing that, and I loved doing that. I did it.
So when it turned out to be such a big hit, how did it feel about it? Like you're part of an epic movie as well.
Definitely, it is a very exhilarating experience. But by the time I already had, but I think It's a great book. I love that book to be written, but I think I'll be remembered more for, hopefully, if I am remembered at all, I'll be remembered for my Asura, Ajaya, or the books which I am going to write.
Absolutely.
Because that is something which I wrote from my heart. This is something which I did a very good professional job. I love the book the way it came out, but the other one is like from my heart, the Asura, Ajaya. That only brought me into this. That only is continuing my journey. So after that, I continued to write. Now I am working with Rakesh and Prayash Mehra. I developed a script based on Mahabharata. I'm doing something with Rohit Shetty. I'm doing something with other directors also. Not as a scriptwriter in various other formats. Some as a scriptwriter. Certain things I cannot announce now also. So it's a very exciting journey.
And how did this all come about? How did this whole journey as an author, writing, when did this all start?
I have told about this in my Asura way in detail. But basically it comes from unfettered ambition.
Unfettered ambitions. Okay.
Unfettered ambition, ambition without any limits. The Asura way of, like take the example of Ravana. I always give the example of two devotees. It is up to you what to choose. There are two different kind of devotees in our Puranas. One is Kuchela.
Kuchela.
Okay. Kuchela is the poor Brahmin who was a classmate of Krishna. He has so many children and he is in abject poverty. So his wife says that you go to Krishna and he's king's brother, so rich, everybody knows him. He may help you. So he goes there to Krishna, but he forgets to ask. Whatever it is, Krishna comes and he treats him. He has all. Kuchela means the one having bad dress or he's in rags. Goes in rags, but Krishna treats him like what he is. He's a bosom friend. He makes him sit near him. He asks, you have brought me anything? So Kuchela has nothing. He has brought some flattened rice.
The Sudama end of the version of the West.
Kuchela.
Correct.
Same Kuchela is known as Kuchela. Sudama. So he takes it and he eats it. That's when he is trying to take the second Rukmani, some version Satyabhama, holds a hand, not allowing Krishna to take. And Kuchela forgets why he has come. And he goes back without asking anything. When he comes back, he finds that palace is there. So this is one story which everyone, last few maybe 500, 600 years, all the Bhakti Era poets tell this is how you should pray to God and God will bless you. This is a very passive story. For me, this story never inspires me.
Okay.
For me, what inspires is Ravana is traveling in his Pushpa Vimana. I am using Puranas itself. Ravana is traveling in his Pushpa Vimana. Pushpa Vimana is not moving because it has reached Kailasa. Okay. So he comes down and asks, who the hell is living here? Who dares to stop Raman? With full arrogance. So Nandigesha, all these people come and say, get out, this is Shiva's place. He says, which Shiva, what Shiva? There are multiple versions of the story, but the most interesting one I am saying, which Shiva, what Shiva? I don't care for any Shiva. If you think such a big, and why is this such a huge, beautiful mountain in this wilderness of Himalayas? It should be in Lanka. I am going to lift it up. So he lifts it up. So in this time, Shiva and Parvati had some tiff. And
they're not talking to each other.
And when Ravan lifts it up, this tilts and Parvati is scared and Parvati comes and hugs Shiva. The tiff is sorted. How entertaining is that? Tiff is sorted, but this is rising. Parvati says, why is this rising? It's because this monster, this Ravana, this Rakshasa is lifting it with all his 20 hands. Because his ambition is so much that he wants to take the entire Kailasa back. Maybe it was actually a nuclear reactor. He wanted a nuclear weapon. I don't know. He was trying to rise it up. And Shiva presses his leg and he gets crushed. He's not able to move because it is Shiva. Then he understands who Shiva is. So only his two hands are free. The rest, 18 hands are crushed. He takes out his small intestine. They go to any extreme to tell the story and makes it as Veena. And the Ravana's famous Shivadandava Stotra, he composes then and there. And then Shiva comes. Shiva is such a great singer, such a great person, in such a great pain. He's singing a song, creating poetry, creativity. He is my greatest birth. He asks him what you want. Ravana doesn't ask, give me all these things. He says, give me something with which I can conquer the world, with my effort. And Chandrahasa is given. So with his effort, he goes and conquers, which is inspiring for me as a modern man of this society. For me, waiting for the God, some of my friend to do a startup, get a lot of money, and then fund my house is better. Or is it better to take the pain what Ravana did and start my own startup and making it to a unicorn? We need unicorns of Ravana today, not the Kuchelas.
Very, very
Very
thought-provoking process.
That's truly.
These are two both are bhakts, right?
Oh my God! Yeah.
In fact, you in our offline conversation, you mentioned about the fact that gods actually are somewhat they may pass away, but it's the civilization that takes it forward, right? I mean, any thoughts that you would like
So
to share?
the Nala Damayanti, what I wrote, it's a very funny Disney kind of book. It's the same Nala Damayanti story told from Damayanti's perspective, not from the usual Nala's perspective. So it's one of the first love stories in which Damayanti's fight is with the god of fate, Kali. So god of fate, Kali, in that story is created by humans. They are not the original god. It comes from the fear of humans about the future. So she fights against it. In that, the climax dialogue is this, that she defeats him, and the climax dialogue is this: whatever the fate throws, humans will find a way to overcome it. You give epidemics, we find vaccines. You give limitations that you can't fly, we discover aeroplanes. You give us anything, you say that you won't be able to have enough food because your population is increasing, we have biocides. Our population has increased to 40 crore, we had famine, 140 crores, we have excess. It's a miracle of science. So what has happened, human is immortal that way, at least in the smaller scale of time. The larger scale of time, even Brahma is not immortal. But in the smaller scale of time, humans are immortal. So take many of the gods which have died and gone so far. Take the gods of Egypt, take the gods of Nordic gods. They are all dead and gone. Nordic gods, because thanks to Hollywood, are having a comeback. But otherwise, that too, humans have to recreate them. Humans will have to recreate them. Gods are helpless. So the thought is, I am putting it the other way around. Humans are immortal. Gods come and go. The form of gods come and go. Nobody prays to Indra anymore. Except perhaps there will be some society in India, nothing you can say for sure, who are really praying to Indra. I know some pastoral communities do that. But all the Rigvedic gods have gone to irrelevance. New gods have come. Sometimes those gods will die and newer gods will come. So gods die at a higher rate than humans. All the religions, including Hinduism, might be from 10,000 years old, 12,000 years old, at most. 4,000, 5,000 scientifically if you say, but even if you take it the outer limit, 10, 12, 15,000 years old. I'm not going to a speculation that is millions of years old. But humanity, if you go by science, humanity, at least Homo sapiens have been around for 2 lakh, at least for 2 lakh years, much more than that. So how many gods, how many religious books, how many philosophies would have come and gone? That is why there are no absolutes in Hindu Darshana. They say that the dharma changes as per the time and the place. It's always contextual. So what was right in some other yuga need not be right now. And hence the need to reinvent and reinterpret the text again and again depending on the place and the position we are and the time we are.
Awesome.
The amazing and always challenging author, Mr. Anand Neelakantan. Thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to all the viewers who would be watching this full interview, there are several interesting aspects to this interview. And if you are also thinking what I am thinking, that suddenly the outlook to look at characters like Shakuni, Supralakha, Duryodhan and Ravana Hasn't it changed your perspective, or at least made you pause and look at, if epics never judge them, then why do we? Who is Asura? Is ambition good? Is being jealous fine enough? To grow in life, do you need hunger in the belly enough that your ambition is fired up? What is the right way of living in this 21st century, in the age of AI? What can books do? We just got a real time, interesting insight into books can bring perspectives, which probably we never had, or we can have one by having this dialogue with none other than Sri Anand Neelakantan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we had a great, enriching time.
Same here. Thank you very
Absolutely
much.
wise.
It's fun talking.